Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mark Loeffler Experience. Another great show for you, for all the Canadians who are watching. Happy Turkey Day, happy Thanksgiving. And on this wonderful Canadian Thanksgiving, we're going to talk about the 5 biggest mistakes to sabotage your fix and flip projects. And the 5 biggest mistakes that you can make that obviously are going to eat into your bottom line. All right, so right into it. Number one thing that's going to eat into your fix and flip is taking too much time. I mean, you're going to pay extra financing, extra holding costs, property taxes, insurance, especially if you're dealing with a hard money loan. You obviously are going to get a whole bunch more interest. And so obviously, you know, the quicker you can do this, the higher the percentage your profit is going to be. So if you can turn that property in 4 to 6 weeks, get it on market, close it all within 4 to 6 months, obviously way better than if you're taking 8 to 12 months to do that, right? Obviously, a way to avoid taking too much time is to have a plan. If it's your first one, it's before closing, get in there with a contractor, and really plan out what you're going to do. So make that plan, start from day one, ensure that that contractor can start from day one. The plan is in place and you can go, right? And it's not just, you know, jump in and figure it out after. It's plan from the beginning, plan for success, and stick to the plan. Which is number 2 of that's going to erode your profits, is not having or sticking to a realistic budget. And again, if you're a new flipper or even a seasoned flipper, you know, go into the home and talk about contingencies. So if you know you're taking down a wall somewhere, what else could be an issue behind that wall? What's best case scenario is, yeah, maybe we just put that wall back, or we build something out, or we do something, yet what else might be a problem behind that wall that I might need to fix once I open up that wall? And if that's the case, how much is that going to cost me? Now, I obviously budget that in when I do it. I budget worst case scenario. And by the way, if worst case scenario doesn't happen, which obviously it doesn't always do, then that money that I haven't spent on the reno just comes down to my bottom line. And again, so budget doesn't cover everything, so you're still going to have contingencies. So if your budget is, say, $60,000, maybe, you know, if it's a newer home, then maybe your contingencies are like $10,000. Or if it's an older home, maybe your contingencies are $20,000, right? Or 20%, $12,000. And you know, and you're going to, obviously, the more flips you do and the more renovations you do, you're going to understand more and more how much of that extra contingency you're going to need in there, right? This might be the biggest culprit of people losing money on flips, is definitely over improving the property. You know, I can go ahead and it's a forced air system. It might need to be a new furnace in there, an air conditioner. And, you know, I put in a hydronic system that, you know, doesn't get seen in that neighborhood a lot. And a lot of people buying at that price point kind of don't understand the value in that system and, you know, the cost that it's going to cost me to do it and the time and effort to put it in. People aren't going to get it. People understand, okay, I'm putting marble into a kitchen, or I'm putting a nice stone countertop in. They see the value in that. They don't kind of see the behind the scenes, like if I'm putting fiberglass windows in, you know, they're not really getting that, like in a $200,000 house where most people are using vinyl. They're not going to see that. They're not going to get it. They're not going to understand the value in that, right? Like, I mean, if you're doing like a brand new custom build, and you're building it out and you're building and using all high-end materials, yeah, people will get those things. People will understand, okay, yeah, in-floor heating, hydronic heating, they'll get fiberglass windows. People will understand the value in that. Yet a lot of people on the lower end over improve for what they're going to sell to. So again, how do you do that? You do market research, so you know your after repair value, and you're sitting there and you say, okay, my after repair value is this. I'm going to go look at those houses that are on the market at that level, so I can be slightly better than them, so I can sell quickly. Yet I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, I need to be this much better than them. I need to be this much better than my competition to sell quickly. And we did talk about this a little bit, not preparing for unforeseen issues. Again, I flip houses that are 100 years old. So when you're working on buildings that are older, you're going to get stuff that, that comes up that you're just not going to cover, right? So again, we talked about this in budgeting, having that contingency. If it's a newer home, 10%. If it's an older home, maybe even as high as 20%. If you're flipping down the States or some areas in Ontario and Alberta, I know they have termite issues. So you might want to get a termite inspection. I mean, another thing, sewer backups, older houses, a lot of roots in the lines. It's worth having an inspector come and basically video the drain to tell you if you're going to have an issue with that, right? The more upfront work you do, it's like anything. The more effort you put in up front, the less surprises you're going to have down the road. And then, the number 5 thing is overpricing a property. Obviously, overpriced property gets less attention than if it's priced correctly. Again, when first time that's listed, that's when people see it, right? It's going to hit everybody's inbox. People are going to see it, and then they're either going to go and see it, they're going to look at the pictures, they're going to watch the video on it, and if they basically sit there and look at it and say, wow, that's pricey for that neighborhood, we're not going to go see it, or it kind of doesn't match up with exactly what we're looking for in that price point. So overpricing your home, the quickest way, because now you're going to sit on the market longer, you're going to pay higher interest costs, you're going to have to carry that property for longer. So it's definitely the kiss of death for a fix and flip, and your house gets stale. And then now you're chasing that market down to where you got to get to below a certain point for it to refresh enough for people to come see it. And then once somebody sees it's been on the market for a while, they're going to sit there and they're going to say, wow, you've been on the market a month in this market that, where houses are selling in 5, 10, 15 days, 20 days on average. So you're higher than the average. Therefore, you're overpriced. We know you're not going to get the showings anymore. So, people are going to come in and lowball you. Again, obviously we do like to price our properties to get multiple offers and, get a little bit of bidding war. Depends on the market you're in. Like if it's a frustrating market, like, some buyers have lost out on 5 or 6 properties. That's really what you want, is somebody to come in and say, I really need that property. I've sold my house. I need someplace to live. I'm willing to spend an extra $10, $20, $30,000 to buy that property because I don't want to lose. And when somebody's playing not to lose rather than to win, then that's really what you want. That's where you want to sell somebody a home. Another thing, I said 5, maybe this is the 6th one, is we stage all of our properties. So we stage them, so people can actually go in and it looks like somebody's living there, obviously, number 1. And people can see, we stage it so it provides the maximum range of people who, like, the target audience that we're going to sell to. So whether we put in a baby's room or an office or whatever, we're maximizing all the space to make it look big. So we're putting in the right size furniture, glass tables in the dining room to make them look bigger. And just, again, to give that wow factor, to get those multiple offers, to get the deal done quickly so we can turn and we can be on to the next deal, because that's really where you make your money in flipping, is on to the next deal, especially if you're doing this full time. Anyways, thanks everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to my Canadian watchers, and we'll do something special for you Americans down the road. in November when you guys have it. Anyways, thanks so much. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Comment down below if you're flipping or if you're buying hold or if you're burring and what you're buying. All right. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.